update time. In the previous videos or video, you've seen the engine get dropped in by me and Chris, and starting to connect up the various bits and pieces around the engine bay. Everything on this side is done. Radiator, bottom hose and all that lot. Alternators in, it's all connected up. Exhaust is in, temporary, just to see how it clears on the remote housing going back. I already took a big chunk off the previous one, well, on the previous LCB, because it's manifold and therefore it didn't fit, and the device to bend it wasn't going to work, so I had to take a big chunk off the remote with a big hash file. This one is catching again, so I have to take even more off to get it to clear. so that'll be this morning's job. Over the far side of the engine bay, I've got the clutch slave cylinder connected up and all tightened up, but that'll need reblading because I took it all off when I redid that bracket on the bulkhead. Throttle bodies are sitting on temporary just while I work out the positioning of the various fuel pipes. I'll just show you them. See, what I've done on the side of the head there is I put some P-clips on just to secure the fuel line from flapping about, because it's quite a long length from the regulator. I might try and put a couple of P-clips off the bottom of the throttle bodies just to hold the pipe in place as well. It'll look a bit neater. It should keep it out of the way, but the only problem is going to be is getting at it, because it's all in the back of there. I'm going to have to take the throttle linkage and the fuel rails probably off to put the throttle bodies on properly, because I've got to try and get at these stud holes that are underneath, and it's absolute ball ache. Down there, starter motors on. Unfortunately the video failed where I was showing that on the bottom stud or bolt that holds it, it's integrated with the starter motor, so you can't get on it. You can only turn it a fraction of a flat at a time. It's not going to focus on it, but that's the top one. What I did was I filed a flat in it so I could get a screwdriver in from this side into the bottom, and then just turned it with a screwdriver, and then it screwed in, and then just tightened this top one up once the bottom one was there or thereabouts, and then just finished it off, turning it into a quarter of a flat that you could at a time. Still got some wiring repairs to do under here where the wires decided to melt for some reason, probably when that lighting switch and that all started to short itself out. But I'll take the throttle bodies back off to give me working room on there. I haven't got a filter head on yet either. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that, whether I go for a DSN one with an adapter, and that way I can have a magnetic sump plug, because at the moment it runs via an adapter in the sump plug hole, which is a pain in the ass every time you want to drain the oil, and it's a little bit delicate. One of these times the actual end, the bulb is going to snap off the temperature sensor, so a bit concerned about that. Going back to these fuel rails or fuel pipes, I need to secure that somehow as well to tidy it up. I don't know, maybe put some P-clips on that old bracket which I use for the throttle cable, throttle steady, I don't know, something like that. Heater pipe is massively, well, I think it's 5/8, and that's 1/2 inch on the head or something like that, so it's not a good fit, and it doesn't look good like that either, so maybe I have to sort something out for that. Breather system's going to be just as it was before, but none of the stuff in this side is going in until I've bled the clutch, reset the end stops down the bottom there, so that'll be catch tank and air horns in there. Throttle cable, that's going to need shortening back, because it's too short from the end there to the end of the wire, so I'm going to have to take probably, I don't know, a good couple of inch off it, and then it'll just sit in there, and then the cable comes along the bottom and through the linkage. Once Mini Spares have sent me the rest of the linkage, I'll be able to complete that. That was a cock up on Genvy's part. They partially assembled it and then didn't include all the parts in the kit. What else? Yeah, the head's not fully fastened down at the moment. I still need to sort out the rockers, so push rods in, then the rockers once I get the proper size spacers to orientate the rockers onto the valve stems. I've got all that measured, but I just need to sort out getting them hopefully from Mini Spares again once the new alloy spacers become available, or get into the stock system so I can actually buy them. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Just get that exhaust sorted next. That's going to be a bitch. because I'm going to have to keep taking it on and off to get it sorted. Even though it's been modded, I'm still not entirely sure how well it's going to seal down the bottom of there. So I might put some of that exhaust sealant around it just to give it a better chance, because the gasket's been pretty abused in this time while they're messing on as well. I've had to file it out because both the gasket and the manifold are a lot smaller. Even though the big bore versions, they're a lot smaller than the exhaust ports in the head, so that's been to modify as well. Another thing I've done is I've used the Specialist Components dipstick that they use on the 7 and the 7 ports and the other ones, the K-Sus heads. If you can just about see it under there or not, I'm not sure. There it is, going into the block, and it comes out here. Problem I've always had with the 8 ports is that, well, once you've got plugs and plug leads in there, that's where your dipstick's coming out through. On the other Mini, I've got a cable tie on the end of the dipstick, and I have to just pull it off. You have to take the plug lead off first and then just pull it up that way on the cable tie, which is a bit of a faff. This way at least it's going to be nice and accessible. It's a bit loose though. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to fit a bit better than that, I'm not sure. So yeah, and of course there's all the wiring to do. All these wires need extending, throttle position, air temperature sensor, and then these are the wires that went to the injectors. I'm going to have all 4 injectors, and I'm going to have the cam sensor in again. What's the cam sensor wire in there? So yeah, I'm going to put all that lot back in that way I'm going to have sequential injection. I don't know if it's going to make that much difference, but I suppose it might make a bit of difference on the fuel economy, even though you don't build these things for fuel economy. But I've got all the wiring there in the system for it, so I'm going to use it. So that's all to extend. I'll probably not bother filming any of that because it's going to be so time consuming. The time it takes to film it and edit it is going to be ridiculous for what it shows. It's just really slow work when you want to do it neat and tidy. And yeah, I think that's about it. All the drive shafts are back in because I used the Hardy Spices. You've seen that in the video as well. The advantage of that is, of course, you don't have to take off your top and bottom arms to move your pot joints out of the way. It's nice and easy. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Time to crack on.